Good afternoon. Today is October 27th. My name is Robert Stanley, and this is my Week 7 assignment. This week we're going to go over some trigger work, when trigger work is necessary, when it's not necessary, things that can happen with improper trigger work, and what constitutes improper trigger work. We're also going to go over a detailed inspection of the AR, when we're looking for with the trigger and trigger work. We're going to check the safety system, make sure that my safety works when it's supposed to, and then going to discuss the easiest parts and the most difficult parts to troubleshoot. So first thing, trigger work is only necessary, in my opinion. This is my opinion. If the trigger springs break, the hammer breaks, or the trigger breaks. I mean, obviously, if any of those parts break, you have to replace your trigger. Some problems that you can have with improper trigger work, ranges, but with anything that's done improperly, it will reduce the performance of the weapon. So if you have somebody put the trigger spring in backwards, I'm sorry, but your weapon's not going to fire. There's just no way around it. Somebody puts a defective part in there, you can fire it one time, you go to fire it a second time, and it breaks again. So you always want to double check works, make sure everything's done correctly. Improper trigger work, like I said, somebody putting in a defective part, somebody not putting a retaining pin in, or your non-slip pins in. That's improper, because you pull that trigger and that trigger moves on you. Bad things can happen. Detailed inspection. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my AR over here as soon as I can get it released. So here we go. We got my 6.5 Creedmoor. Everything's clear, no live ammunition. So when we're doing detailed inspection of it, you just want to make sure everything is solid, nothing moves that shouldn't move. So instead of slamming my bolt forward, I'm going to go ahead and ride it forward on this occasion. So when we're doing a safety inspection or a detailed inspection, again, you want to make sure that my weapon is on safe here. I don't know if you can see that. So the weapon is on safe, and you always want to make sure that when you pull that trigger, the hammer does not fire. You put the weapon on fire. Mine is on fire right now. Again, there is no ammunition in here. You pull that trigger, it fires. Rack it back, you release your trigger, it resets. So I kind of covered two things here, because I covered the safety system and disconnector, and a detailed inspection of it. So I mean, but with the detailed inspection, you just want to make sure that all your nuts, all your bolts, all your screws, everything is secured, nothing moves. With your scopes, you want to make sure that they're nice and tight on there. Mine are hand tight right now. I will tighten them down later. And then with the safety, I kind of just did that. You want to make sure it doesn't fire. When on safe, you want to make sure that it fires, and then you also want to make sure that it resets. And then you also, once you reset it, you also want to go ahead and pull the trigger again, make sure nothing happens. Some of the easiest parts to replace, I believe, in my opinion here, the bolt. I mean, if you get a broken bolt, you just go order a new bolt and you replace it. It's as simple as breaking your weapon down, your AR down, shotgun style, pull the bolt out, install your new bolt. One of the harder pieces, in my opinion, I would say would be the barrel itself. Only because of the torque value. You don't know if the manufacturing put 35 foot-pounds of torque, 85 pounds of foot torque, or if they just put it on hand tight with some Loctite. My barrel is currently on at 35 foot-pounds of torque with Loctite. So mine won't come off easily. It's going to take some force. Again, there are a bunch of numerous pieces that can be easy to swap out. Like I said, the bolt's easy. Your scope, you break your scope or your optics, take it off, you buy a new one, slap it on. Handguard breaks, you buy a new handguard, throw it on. Again, I say the barrel is the hardest because of the torque value on there. So anything that's torqued in, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than anything else. So that about covers it for this week, and I will see y'all next week for my final assignment. Talk to you soon.